And we are live. Hey, Kurt, we can see you.
Hey.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Another episode of That Crypto Hustle. Every Wednesday, we're going to be doing this, being consistent. Super excited to have again Kurt with me, one of the co-founder of White Rabbit ICO. Thanks for joining us, Kurt.
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to chat again. I'm excited to talk.
So last week we talked all about EOS. I feel like that was still big in the news this week. A lot of talks about some of the drama surrounding the launch. So what's your take on it? How did it go in your eyes? And what are some of the things to watch for anyone who's invested in EOS?
So there was a lot of things that even caught me off guard. And there is, some drama. I think it's mainly that you got to keep in mind that Dan Larimer and some other people, they're sort of like really trying to build decentralized and open source software. And so that means anybody can take it and do whatever they want. So I think the biggest drama was more about how there wasn't really great alignment on which mainnet would be like the mainnet, I guess. And so it's possible that there's many different versions of EOS that could be out there. And so that to me was the biggest piece of drama, because I guess when you go into these things, you think that, well, there's just going to be one version of it like there is for Ethereum. But it's kind of like how Bitcoin forks a lot. There can be a lot of different versions, and that could ultimately be good, I think, because it would could possibly create more competition, and it's not a sure thing. So whoever's really going to take responsibility for running the greatest mainnet hopefully would win. And there's some other drama about, people are fearing collusion. Vitalik is putting out reports talking about how there could be collusion, and, there's vulnerabilities in the kind of human-run network. So
what's collusion exactly?
I think that what they're worried about is that a bunch of block producers could get together and then kind of make decisions that aren't in the best interest of the community, which is technically possible, but I think that we're all learning together, I guess, is kind of the good thing about this, is where, in proof of work mining, a lot of people are complaining about it because anybody can come onto that network and there's literally nothing you can do to stop it. So if a bunch of people want to buy a bunch of equipment and, start monopolizing the mining, they can in a proof of work system. And so a lot of people have said that there's only really 5 mining pools that are run in China. So they're kind of in control to a certain degree. I mean, they're not in control of Bitcoin or something, but they are monopolizing mining, and so a lot of people don't like that system, even though it's open and anybody can go on, but anybody with a lot of money can basically monopolize that. And so a lot of the incentives are gone for the usual miner, really. I'm going to shut my window, but I can still hear you.
Yeah, no, interesting. So, that's kind of what we talked about last week. The voting issue, which obviously they're still working out and trying to figure out what the workaround is going to be. So essentially the concept that EOS really is not all that decentralized. It's centralized in the sense that there is going to be 21 block, what are they called exactly?
Block producers
who are going to decide on transactions, correct?
Yeah, and so we are running one of the block producers. It's called BPAC, Block Producer App Coalition. That's at bpac.io. You can look it up. We have a really amazing team of dApp developers and guys who, created some really great products in the market. And one of our missions is to, and each block producer has a mission of giving back to the community. And so our mission is to give back to the dApp ecosystem, because that's what we really care about as engineers and application developers. We believe that the best way to support the ecosystem is to support the app developers. So we're building an app store, and I'll be leading an app store there. but, you know, each block producer is different, and there are many different goals and really different ways of thinking. And I like it because it's diverse. Like, some people are saying, well, you shouldn't take financial incentives. And then there's some people that are, you know, more like free market capitalists, like even Dan Larimer, the developer of EOS. You know, I'm pretty sure they don't have a problem with people having financial incentives. And the reality is we don't really know what is going to work and what won't. So I like it that it's kind of open-ended right now.
And so what are these EOS airdrops that are going on right now? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I mean, essentially, it's like not an investment advice, but
yeah,
yeah, pretty much. But I mean, for the typical, you know, person, it really comes down to free money. And I try to explain this. I was trying to explain it to my dad, actually. I was like, look, it's just like you put money in a bank account, which is, you know, EOS, you hold it in a wallet, and then somebody comes along with a magic wand and, you know, duplicates your money. I mean, that's kind of what an airdrop is. And so if I had to really break it down into analogy, like, let's say I had a bank account with US dollars in it, and then a new country comes out with their own currency. An airdrop is like that new currency. When it comes on the scene, they will, for every $1 US you have, and this is the typical setup, for every $1 US you have, that new currency, they'll give you one of their currency for every US dollar you have. And so that's kind of what an airdrop is. You hold some tokens in a wallet, and when that, like, for example, Everypedia is coming out, right? And I think that, and each person has a different ratio, so when Everypedia mints their token, they're going to give it out to EOS holders. So there's a lot of little details that are a little bit hard to follow, like just being straight up, is that some will drop you 5 tokens for every 1 EOS token. Some will only drop you tokens into your wallet. And what that means is they're going to send it out to your wallet. Wherever your EOS are, they're going to send it to your wallet. And some of them require you to give your EOS wallet address, and some of them will just do it automatically.
But what's the incentive there? That's what I'm not understanding, because if EOS already launched and is already in the market, why are they giving away coins? Is it that developers are interested in getting more people access to their software, so they're just giving it away as an incentive?
Yeah, I think that probably the main goal behind airdrops, it's a user acquisition strategy. Mm-hmm. So, you know, us as marketers, right? Like, I think that this should be, you know, something that we're really good at, is if you have an app that launches, you have to have a user acquisition strategy. And for crypto, it's like this whole new market of marketing is coming out where you can acquire users faster than any other acquisition strategy by saying, hey, here's some free tokens, right? So you, in a traditional way of doing it, or like the typical way of doing it, there's nothing traditional in this market, I guess, but you'll say, hey guys, we're doing this airdrop, and then the users come on and sign up in exchange for giving out some tokens to their wallet. So it's sort of like, if we think about the old way of doing apps, it's almost like if Facebook came out with a new app and they say, hey, if you download this, we'll give you $5. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So where can someone find these airdrops for EOS?
Okay, well, yesterday I actually built a tool. It's eosairdrops.co. But there are a lot of sites like this, actually. You know, you can find it on the individual dApps website and their specific details about how they're going to airdrop their tokens, or, you know, eosindex.io, I believe, is another site. EOS, there's a lot of different sites that do this. I just built my own tool because at White Rabbit, we also keep track of them. We already have the data, so I figured I might as well just build a page where we can follow along. And then it has a link where you can click out, and we try to add the notes where, you know, it kind of explains how to do it, because I feel like a lot of people are, you know, they have no idea. And it took me a while to figure it out too. And which wallets support it. The EOS ecosystem is kind of a mess right now, honestly, because nobody really knows which wallet is going to support the airdrops or not. You know, so it's a total, like, there's a lot more drama than like even people are aware of that there's drama. It's beyond the block producers. There's so much shit going on. Like,
So you could essentially apply for an airdrop, and if you don't have the right wallet, not be able to get it, or have to apply for another wallet. Is that how that works?
It's kind of like that. So, I think that probably the way to redeem or view the airdrops, because they send it to your wallet address, right? But let's say Everypedia sends a token to your EOS wallet. If you have your wallet open, you'll never even know that, you might never know that they sent you the airdrop. Just like when Bitcoin forks, actually, they fork the network. At that moment when they fork it, if you own Bitcoin, like for example, Bitcoin Cash, when Bitcoin Cash forked, you own the same amount of Bitcoin that you did in Bitcoin Cash. And a lot of people don't know that. They're probably, more rich than they think that they are, because there's all these Bitcoin forks, and they forked the same amount of Bitcoin into this fork, right? So you own that, and it's confusing for people. Like, I can even see the look on your face.
Yeah,
You're
I'm like, what?
Yeah, but it's this, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of exciting in a way, because there's never really been anything like this where somebody just duplicates some asset and then you own it in the copy too. It's kind of weird.
But then how do you reclaim it? That's what I don't understand.
So
Especially if you don't have access, like if you're saying essentially that you don't necessarily see it incoming, or...
Yeah, you won't see it, but eventually what's going to happen is there will be wallet support. So for example, you have Mu, right? My Ether wallet. Mm-hmm. So when somebody, it's really a similar thing. That's why I think nobody's really worried about it, is that in My Ether wallet, you have Ethereum, right? Which, let's imagine Ethereum is like EOS, right? There are thousands of Ethereum compatible tokens that you can send to somebody in Mu, and you will see it in your wallet. But, there has been a process, for example, Bloom or some other ERC20 token. If you want to see it, you have to go in and kind of tweak your wallet a little bit. Like, you might have to say, hey, I actually have this token, and then it'll show up in your wallet. Because there might not be a specific support, or it might be a really new token. And so the same thing is going to happen with EOS. All of these tokens are going to start coming out, and then the wallets are going to have an incentive. Like Exodus, for example, they probably got a really huge spike in users because they're one of the easiest ways to register EOS. But a lot of people, and just a disclaimer, is a lot of people are saying that Exodus has some security and privacy issues, which probably is true. But now that they see the spike in EOS users, there's probably going to be more incentive for them to support and show these tokens inside of their wallet. And the tokens really go to one address, so it's not like it's that difficult. All the Exodus would have to do as a wallet is update their wallet to actually show these other tokens that are in your EOS wallet. So, and that'll happen. It'll happen pretty soon. It's just kind of a mess right now.
That's interesting. So, I mean, any recommendation for anyone right now would be to go on these EOS airdrop sites and try to see how many ever tokens it can gather, especially since EOS just launched, it's just probably a great opportunity to do it now versus later. And what if someone didn't purchase any EOS? How would they be able to participate in the airdrop?
Yeah, you're kind of fucked. I think that what we need to do in that case, if you're kind of behind, I don't think it's a big deal. You can go and purchase some EOS, not investment advice. I mean, I'm not really suggesting you to do this, but if you did really want to collect those airdrops, then you purchase some EOS, and then when they do the airdrop, make sure you read the instructions, right? Get the EOS in a wallet, make sure it's supported. The market is going to change a lot, but also pay attention to the specific rules for the airdrop you want to get, because each one has different rules. Like, some will say you have to have a minimum of 100 EOS. Some don't really care. You could have 50 cents and they'll still send you. Or you might have to have a minimum of 1. And then there's different ratios, because 1 EOS is about, $15 right now, right? And then, their token isn't likely going to be 1 token for $15. It might be that, 100 tokens on their platform, because they have different token economic structure. could be worth, 100 tokens could be worth $15. So they'll send you 100 tokens. Each one is going to be different. So
guess what I'm doing tonight?
Airdrops
EOS
are fun.
Airdrop time. It's like a video game, I'm sure.
I think it would be cool actually to do like a group hangout where people have no clue how to do airdrops, just like we just show them how to do airdrops. That would be really fun actually.
Make sure that everyone has a beer in hand too while we're doing it. That would be fun.
Yeah. Or yerba mate.
Yeah. Oh wait, I have orange juice. Not
there
as
you
cool
go.
as you. Cool. So then, no, I like that idea actually. We should make it happen. I keep on,
like an airdrop party.
Yeah, an airdrop party. We should definitely do it. How nerdy is that? Love it. So the other thing, I was gonna say the other thing that's all over the news today is the former CTO of Ripple came out with a smart contract, which is called, Codius. So I guess, the smart contract wars are starting. So what was their incentive for launching that?
Well, I think that, Ripple is a really interesting company and it's hard for me to talk about it without people hating me, basically.
Oh yeah, and did you see the news as well? I think it was yesterday that they donated, I don't know how much money to schools. Yeah, and their marketing is really on point. Wasn't what's his face on Ellen DeGeneres show as well? The actor, what's his name? Forgot.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, he was on Ellen. Yeah, so I mean, they're killing it on the marketing front, but yeah, I'm sure they have.
They are, backing. But as far as marketing, I'm just going to try to be as straight up as possible. I feel like Ripple is a follower in marketing because, if we really want to look at, for example, celebrities, Dash was a leader in getting celebrities on board with getting on the news and getting on shows. So Ripple is really just stealing from everybody's playbook, but there's no problem with that. What works, works. And so I think that the problem with Ripple is that, people didn't really understand that there's a difference between their token and what their core business is. Because they're helping banks transfer money, but they're not actually using their token there. They're using a technology called XRapid, I believe. And so this is very different from I think that the main problem that Ripple is realizing, if you look around in the market, people are like, Ripple as the cryptocurrency is trash because it doesn't do anything. It literally has nothing. It's not like a sweet system like Ethereum where it's a smart contract system that you can build really smart money, programmable money. Is really just a cryptocurrency. And I think that what they realized is that Ripple as an asset or Ripple as a cryptocurrency kind of sucks compared to everything else. It's highly speculative. And, you have all these other cryptos that are crushing it. Like EOS has been, I feel like they took that donation thing out of EOS's playbook because EOS has been a leader in donating to higher education to actually spark the ecosystem. They have a VC, and it's hard for me not to just sing EOS's praises, but a lot of these things are just stealing out of other people's playbook. Like smart contracts have been around for years now, and that's one of the great successes of the Ethereum virtual machine running smart contracts, is something that Ethereum really innovated and was crushing on. That's why people are able to launch tokens, and thousands of tokens were launched on Ethereum. I think that Ripple is just realizing, and it's probably smart for them, is my guess, is just look at what all these other guys are doing that are working. We can do it too.
Yeah, but for me, Ripple's going after another public. They're going after individuals, they're going after mass adoption. They're going after individuals who just don't really understand much about it because they know deep down that most sort of crypto enthusiasts hate Ripple because it pretty much stands behind banks and it's not much of a change from, what we currently have in place. So for me, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're ripping a lot of different marketing strategies that have already been put in place, but they're going for sort of like mass adoption. And for individuals, you're shying away from investing. And so they can't afford Bitcoin and they'll go for Ripple sort of thing. You know, I mean, that's kind of my gut feeling. So yeah, because anyone who's in the crypto space obviously knows better. And it's funny because actually in one of the events that I had in Barcelona like a few weeks ago, one of the traders that we had was saying that he's invested in Ripple, not necessarily because he cares about the technology, but because he knows that there's potential. And again, this is not financial advice, but potential for it to do well in the long run. But in itself, the technology is really lacking.
Yeah. And I think that there's many different ways to look at it. Like, if you just look at it like, I don't give a fuck, I don't care about being a cool crypto dude, if all you want to do is make money, a lot of people made a lot of money in Ripple, you know, and they're very ambitious, obviously, you know, like they're all over TV. They're trying to run it like a company. And I think that probably the other cryptos have something to learn from Ripple with the leadership. I think that, you know, us as like crypto hackers and thinking about decentralized technology is that some people sort of underestimated that these technologies still need leaders that people believe in. And we can't underestimate that. Like, people that are willing to make partnerships and do business development and make sure that the technology gets to where it needs to go, that like we shouldn't underestimate that. And I feel like Ripple is like a leader in corporatizing crypto stuff. Yeah. Like, they're to me like the Microsoft of crypto.
So speaking of Microsoft, they purchased GitHub. And so what do you think that's going to mean for the crypto world? So GitHub, can you just start explaining what GitHub is for some of the individuals who might not know what it is?
Yeah, probably the simple way to explain it is that GitHub is a place where the coders collaborate. It's a community where the coders who are working on projects collaborate on their code. So it's a cloud service for code. So if we want to create our own cryptocurrency today, we'd likely store our code in GitHub. So it's a cloud service for the code. It's really like such an integral part of what a developer does. Like, most people, and it's a really great product. I made a video about it recently to talk about what I really think it means. And so it's really such an essential tool. A lot of people are trying to say, well, it doesn't matter, like, let's move off of GitHub now that Microsoft has acquired it. But yeah, it's a cloud service for code. All of the crypto projects are there. It must be, you know, orders of magnitude more valuable now that there's all of these crypto projects. These are the unicorns of tomorrow that are being built, and they're being built in GitHub.
Why did they purchase GitHub? I guess because they know their platform is dying. I didn't say that.
Well, so I think that it goes into an overall strategy of Microsoft realizing that developers don't love them. And that's a problem because they're a software company, you know. And so their mobile phone died, and a lot of it was because developers didn't want to build anything on it. No apps were there. If there's no apps, you don't have customers. And I think that they really underestimated it. And this is a company that underestimated the internet when it came out. And so this new CEO, I have to give him credit actually, because I think that he knows all of the problems of Microsoft and he's trying to fix them. He's basically realized that we suck at predicting the future and now we have to change. And so I really see it as a secret crypto play. That's like my fun way of viewing this, is that they're really, if they buy the place where everybody's building the crypto future, then they're going to have their foot in the door there. Like, and so to me, that's what it really is. One, it's about this overall strategy of building better developer relations. And I can see that they're doing it in many, many more ways too. For example, they have like really popular and hardcore Python developers going to Microsoft to do, seminars and really trying to change the core languages. They're really trying to work with Linux, so they're really, I think that their overall strategy is just, let's make developers love Microsoft more. And I think eventually it's going to work because they have enough capital, and the CEO seems really ambitious at doing it. So that's, to me, what is really behind buying GitHub.
Interesting. Cool. Well, I think that's it for the news this week. Is there anything else you want to add?
Can't think of anything right now. I'm always happy to chat crypto.
We need to make this airdrop party happen. Virtual party happen.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be fun. We'll brainstorm about it. Awesome. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to do this every Wednesday. Thank you, Kurt, for taking the time to speak to us and sharing your wealth of knowledge. Make sure to check out his channel. It's White Rabbit ICO, right? On YouTube?
Yeah, White Rabbit ICO Discovery. Yeah. ICO
Discovery. So make sure I'll also link it in the comment section below, and catch you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye, guys.